Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly Delta fishing report for the week of February 10th, and we're going to start off with something that Keith from Free Spooling wrote me this week. And this is, Keith is a weekly contributor, and I feel like I have to read this verbatim because you just can't make stuff up like this. So, Keith writes, Dear Steve, actually he didn't write Dear Steve, he put, I added that, but everything else is verbatim here. Dear Steve, thanks for the report, and it's tough to hear the fishing is consistently bad on the Delta. I will keep at it so I don't have to do chores. There you go. Words of wisdom from Keith. If you want more of that, go to Free Spooling on YouTube and you'll basically hear more wisdom from Keith. So with that, let's get right into the report. I'll start at Clear Lake, and it's not really a fishing report, it's more of a water report. I talked to Jimmy from Clear Lake Bait and Tackle, and he's concerned about the water levels, and rightly so. They go by Rumsey scale, and 0.0 on the Rumsey scale is generally when all of the ramps start to close. Right now, the Rumsey scale is showing 0.05. Last year, at this very time, Jimmy says that the Rumsey scale was at 0.15, and basically that's a foot higher than what it is this year. His concern is if they don't get any more rain, that water is going to drop. And last year they started closing ramps probably around August. Without any more water, they're likely to close way before that. So, we're in big jeopardy of losing a full season at Clear Lake unless we get some rain. So take that into consideration. If you're thinking about Clear Lake, you might want to go up there right now. It's still at 0.05. All the ramps are open. Fishing's good. If you get up there, especially if you're going into Redbud, stop in at Clear Lake Bait and Tackle. Say hello to Jimmy. He'll give you all the up-to-date information. Just wanted to throw that out there. Around the mother lode, I'll start with the report from Alan Fong. And Alan's been fishing Berryessa, and I know we don't talk a whole lot about Berryessa, but one of the things that I'm going to be doing here from now on, because I've got guys like Alan and Jeff Suhu and Rob from out at the Bass Hole. These guys have a lot of information that you just can't find anywhere, and I'm going to really try to probe them and get a tip of the week or a pick of the week from these guys. And I have a tip of the week from Alan, and it comes from Berryessa. Alan's been up there, and last week I reported he was getting 15 to 18 pounds a day. Really good fishing for this type of year. It dropped off a little bit. He's still picking limits out from about 11 to 14, 15 pounds. But what Alan said, and this is his tip of the week, keep a close eye on Berryessa. He's been fishing it. He likes the watercolor. He likes the temperature. He likes how everything is progressing on the lake. He likes the way the fish are positioning, how they're biting, and everything, in his opinion, is pointing to that if this weather keeps up, if the weather pattern is staying at 70, 75 degrees, Berryessa is going to break wide open within a week or so. Just a prediction, but guys, Alan's been around for 50 years. He knows that lake, and that's something that you can't information that you can't get from anyone except for a guy like Alan. So keep that. That's Alan's pick, and I've got some more information from Alan here in a minute, but we'll cover the mother lode. I'll talk about Maloney's. Maloney's is pretty decent. I talked to John Leasty from Experience Fishing Guide Service, and John's still catching fish. Again, it's on a little bit of a downturn, but still fishing well. I went up there with my partner Chris last week, and we had a good day. It wasn't a fantastic day. We didn't catch a lot of big fish, but we caught fish, and just had to get off the Delta and refresh my angling by fishing a Clearwater lake and having some action. For us, we caught most of our fish in about 30 feet of water, and they were all on plastic, shaky head, drop shot, Ned rig, the standard stuff up there. If you need to get off the Delta, Clear Lake, Berryessa, or Maloney's are great alternatives. With that, we'll talk about the bite here on the Delta, and we'll talk about water conditions. Water conditions are about the same. The trend is clearing and clearing water visibilities. Most of the visibilities are from 2 or 3 feet to about 5 or 6 feet. So water clarity is perfect out here. Temperatures have been rising depending on where you're at, anywhere from maybe 48, 49 in the morning to 51, 52. If you're in the central Delta, it's consistently staying about 50 degrees in the morning, and it's gotten up to 53, maybe even 54. So what's going to be happening in the next 10 days if the weather predictions hold, which is supposed to be 75 degrees, we're going to have clearer water, more visibility, and the water temperatures are going to be rising. So just keep an eye on that. The fishing has not been great out here. We'll start off with stripers, and I'll go back to Alan Fong. I talked to Alan on Tuesday. Alan was out fishing stripers and catching fish, and that might be the bright spot, what Alan talked about here on the Delta. He was fishing Rio Vista North on the Sacramento and all the little tributaries up there, and he was throwing 7-inch, I think it was 7-inch plastic swim baits, and they were catching fish. So keep in mind that if you're a striper guy, that may be the area that you want to be pushing to. I talked to Haps Bait. Their striper report was not good. They're not really selling a lot of striper bait, and they're not getting a lot of stripers that are being weighed in, but they are selling a lot of sturgeon bait, and they are getting sturgeon weighed in. So if you're a sturgeon guy, that's probably what you want to be doing right now. Talked with Jeff Suhu. Jeff made from Suhu Sport Fishing, and Jeff made one trip last week. He had 4 clients. They caught 10 fish, but Jeff had to work super hard for those fish, and he worked from Antioch to where his boat is there, Pittsburgh, Antioch, all the way to Sassoon Bay. This is Jeff's tip of the week. As far as stripers go, he likes everything in the Delta right now. Water conditions are fine, water temperatures are fine, but he feels like most of the fish in the system right now are all resident fish, and they're just not kicking into a bite. He's hoping that there will be a push of fish come in from the bay, and when that happens, it'll hopefully trigger a bite, and it's probably going to happen soon. He's hoping that, you know, and with the weather conditions, again, it's all weather related, but Jeff says when the bite happens, it's going to happen quick, and it's going to be on. So, you know, keep your avenues open, and keep tuning into every report that you can find, because when it happens, it's going to happen quick. Another tip that Jeff suggested, and this is one that I'm going to really be watching because I haven't thought about this, you know, over the years, but he says the stripers will always pick up the bite before the largemouth bass. So if you're a largemouth bass guy and you start seeing reports of the stripers, the largemouth bass are going to be right behind that bite. So look for that striper bite, hope that it happens, and then get ready for the largemouth to be right behind them. That is the striper report. We're going to get into the largemouth bass report, and I'm going to start off with the information that I got from Rob out at the Bass Hole on Bethel Island. He fished the ABA tournament last week, and I forget how many boats were out there, but no one pulled in a limit of bass in the entire tournament. The guy that won the tournament did have 15 pounds, and that was a three fish bag. The guys that got second and third had 4 fish bags. The word was that there was no pattern on any of their fish. I had heard, I think it was from Hook, Line, and Sinker, that they had talked to the guys that won the tournament with 15 pounds, and they caught 2 of their fish, you know, in the last half hour of the day, just bang, bang. So, you know, congratulations to those guys, but that's a long day when you only catch 3 fish, and 2 of them are, you know, in that 15-20 minute time frame, and you end up winning the tournament with 3 fish. So congratulations there. Not a lot of patterns going on, and that's a pretty tough tournament to fish. So the one tip that Rob was telling me is he calls March on the Delta March Madness. Here's Rob's tip. Get ready for a crankbait bite in March. It happens every year. Maybe it'll be early this year, maybe it'll be later, but sometime during March we're going to have a crankbait bite. It's going to be a good bite. You got to get your crankbaits ready, and you want to make sure that you have your crankbaits in craw colors, and that's what's going to be the ticket. Stop in, say hi to Rob. He'll get you set up with what you guys need to get ready for March Madness. Okay, that leads me to what I've been doing on the Delta, and I'll tell you one thing that I did that didn't work for me, and it might keep you guys from trying what I really put some time in and didn't have any luck on. When I got back from Maloney's, I kept all my finesse stuff on, and I really tried to work 8-pound test, smaller baits, approach everything with caution. I knew the water was clearing up. I was trying to get fish that were, from 2 to 6 feet deep. I was making long casts, and it just didn't pay off. For whatever reason, the days that I was out here, that was not paying off. I can catch 2 fish on any day. If I'm out here for 10 minutes, I'll catch 2 fish. If I fish for 8 hours, anything over that 2 fish, I've got to work like a rented mule to catch them. I don't know what the story is. So I'm averaging 2 fish a day. Every other day I'm catching a striper while I'm fishing for the largemouth. No real pattern for me other than they have been on slow moving baits. I'm not catching anything on reaction baits. If you come out here, you can give that stealth business a try, but if you're thinking about switching all your gear, down to 6 or 8 pound tests from regular Delta gear, I would suggest not doing that. Didn't work for me, may work for you, but I would try, instead of 2 to 6 feet, maybe 4 to 8 or 10 feet deep. I think the bulk of the fish are still out a little deeper, but it's just not a big pattern going on. It's just tough. On another high note, I want to give a shout out to Rob, another contributor. He got his personal best this week, 10.7 pounds. Didn't get a great picture of it. He was out by himself, so it's hard to get a selfie with a 10.7, but he got a picture of the mouth of this thing, and I thought I'd show it, and I want to give Rob a shout out because, hey, it's, beginning of February, you get your PB and it's over 10 pounds, you deserve a shout out. So Rob, congratulations. It wasn't on the Delta. He wasn't going to disclose where he was fishing, but heck, he got his personal best. So way to go, Rob. Last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Mike and the gang. They're up fishing the Sacramento area. Regular contributors are watching the show all the time, and they're working for all their fish. It's been slow for them. They're not getting any, giving me any great reports, but they're saying that their lives have been a lot better. People are complimenting them on the way they look. They look younger. Their wives are treating them better. Seems like the young girls are following them around. I asked what's going on. They sent me this picture, so I thought I'd put it up there, and I don't know, you guys, make up your mind on what's going on, but it could be the shirts, and I guess I can use that to say that my shirts, the large shirts, are in. So you guys that were asking for the large shirts, give me a hit up, and I'll send you a large shirt, and we'll go from there. Okay, with that, all my other reports from Outdoor Sportsman, Hook, Line, and Sinker, all the reports that I've been getting, slow on the largemouth, really nothing on the stripers, one here and there. So I hate to say it, but another tough week. I've given you guys some inside information from some of the guys like Jeff and Alan and Rob. Hopefully that helps. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through these hard times, and it's going to get better, maybe in the next week, maybe in the next 2 weeks, for sure. We're hoping in the next month or so, but stay with it. I'll give you guys up-to-date information. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you guys next week.